Unexpected time off from running. I don't think there's anything worse. It's also probably one of my least favorite parts about training recreationally as an adult. Sometimes things just come up in our lives that causes an interruption in our training or in our running, or causes an interruption with our plans for that day. And it can be really frustrating when no one around you seems to really understand why it's such a big deal. So in terms of time off, I'm obviously talking about sickness or injuries that pop up, but I'm also talking about those random days where something comes up unexpectedly and you're not able to get in your run. That could be family plans, getting out of work late, a big snowstorm, and no treadmill. Lots of different possibilities here. And I think there's another video to be made about injuries and cross training and stuff like that, but I want to keep this video kind of general to unexpected time off with all the things I just listed and then so many more. There have been so many times where this has happened to me, including right now. I've been dealing with some super shitty arch pain in the bottom of my left foot, and for a while, you know, it was manageable. I got in about a month, 4 or 5 weeks of solid training. My mileage was up there. I was getting in some quality tempo runs, quality workouts, some quality long runs. But unfortunately, to my demise, now the top of my left foot has been slightly irritated, slightly tender. I just don't want it to make it anything more serious, like a fracture or something. So I have some unexpected time off now to deal with. Planned time off is one thing, but when you have to stop in the middle of your training in that momentum and in that consistency that you're finally getting, it's just so frustrating and so defeating. Even when it's just one day that goes unplanned and causes us not to run or causes a little bit of an interruption in our training, it can cause a lot of stress and anxiety in us runners. It makes us feel as though we're gonna fall really behind. So if this happens to you, first things first, don't panic. Do me a favor, take a deep breath. Panicking or stressing isn't going to be able to rewind the day or make it so you're able to run in that moment. Your body is amazing, and it can really tell when you have a lot of stress and tension build up inside. So it really isn't going to do you any good by stressing out about it and causing yourself to feel even more anxious. You and your body and your training and your running, you don't need any of that stressful energy. And although it sucks in the moment, you will bounce back and you will get to 100%. Honestly, one day off, a few days off, even a couple of weeks off really isn't going to make that big of an impact in the long term for you. And if you are out for a longer period of time due to an injury or something that has come up in your life, first of all, hang in there, stay strong, and know that so many athletes go through big periods of time off, and know that you're gonna get through it as well. So many runners, so many professional athletes come back from major surgeries or major injuries, and they end up getting back just where they were and then even stronger than they were before. Next, focus on what you can do and what you can control. If you're injured, can you cross train? Can you basically find something else that's going to fill that running void? If you have a messy day where you can't squeeze your run in, can you squeeze in 10 minutes of core or some solid stretching? And if you can't, can you really just dial in on your nutrition that day or get to bed at a decent hour? Basically, there are so many factors that can enhance your running that don't mean just running. It isn't just about what you do when you hit the roads, but it's so much about the things that you do in the hours surrounding. Another tip, don't overcompensate. So in running, I think it's a very type A sport. It's something that I own up to the fact. I don't know why, maybe it's because of the numbers, but lots of times with the numbers and with time off and training, it can get super obsessive and it can be really easy to overthink all the little details. If you are worried about your mileage that you missed because of a day or two off from training, I get it. Trust me, I still worry about my mileage to this day. But just be careful if you're tempted to add on some mileage to make up for the mileage that you missed. You just don't want to completely load on the miles on your legs and on your body and do too much and then cause an injury that's going to cause you to take further time off down the road. Now, obviously, you need to do what's best for you, and you know your body the best. And I don't think there's any problem with switching around your days so you can still get your workouts in if that's the day that you had to miss. And honestly, most likely adding a mile or two probably won't hurt you, but I suggest either talking to your coach if you're working with one or seeking advice, and then most importantly, just listening to your body. Pretty much the biggest thing when I have to take time off from running, or even if it's unexpected, even if it's just one day, I try to really be cautious of my time on social media. And now this is just because of comparisons, unfortunately, that kind of just happen subconsciously when we're scrolling through our Instagram feed or Strava or whatever. I think when I'm not running, that's the time for me that I feel the most shitty. And so going onto social media, I immediately just envy everyone who's running, getting in their long runs, getting in quality workouts, racing. It just just makes me feel even worse. But this is an important time to try to reframe your perspective. Embrace this time off. Try to be grateful for it and thank the universe that for some reason you are given this time off from running. There's always those times during training when you're like, oh, I wish I had a few days to reset, rest, recover, sleep in. So embrace that time now and remember how you feel further on down the line, and it will maybe help you try to get through this time off. Rest, recover. I promise your body and your mind will end up thanking you. No one likes unexpected time off from running, but I'm here to remind you that it happens to everyone. It's life, and it's the life of being an amateur runner. We unfortunately don't have the luxury like pro runners do to make running our 1000% #1 priority. But that's honestly something to be so proud of and something that I really love about the sport and being an amateur runner. We get to run solely because we love it. Basically, you just want to remember your love and your gratitude for the sport and always let that fuel your thoughts and your actions and your behaviors, and you'll be back in no time. And an unexpected day off or two is going to be okay. So don't stress. Try to rid yourself of all that anxiety because it isn't going to help you. You can only move forward and focus on what you can do and what you can control. Just remember the runner that you are, and you want to be your strongest self internally, externally, mentally, physically, and time off unfortunately is going to happen even if it's a day or two because of something that happened in your life that is outside of training and outside of running. So I hope this video made sense, kind of talking about in general unexpected time off when something comes up in your life. If you kind of know and kind of relate and have any other tips to help you get through these weird days off or weird week or two off that you just really weren't expecting, definitely let me know in the comments below. I would love to know. And if you made this far, thank you so much for watching. As always, I so greatly appreciate it. I love making this YouTube channel, especially because I would love for my career to be in the running industry, and I haven't exactly figured out how to do that quite yet. So it's so awesome to have this outlet to just talk all things running and to talk to people who also love running. I love it. So yeah, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to my channel. I will see you in my next video, but until then, as always, happy running.